This is the fourth in a series of presentations designed to help student athletes deal with challenges related to stress brought on by COVID-19. Are you having trouble falling and staying asleep? If so, you're not alone. Among the key findings from the NCAA Student Athletic COVID-19 Wellbeing Survey was that a majority reported feeling high rates of mental distress and over 1/3 reported experiencing sleep difficulties. The purpose of this presentation is to look at the importance of sleep, particularly for student athletes, and to suggest tips for improving your sleep. This chart identifies important reasons athletes need sleep. First and foremost, adequate sleep is vital for restoring immune system. If you want your body to be prepared to fight infections, you need sleep. If you are exposed to COVID, a healthy immune system could be the difference between staying healthy and becoming infected. The quality and amount of sleep athletes get is often the key to learning. REM sleep, in particular, provides energy to both the brain and body. If sleep is cut short, the body doesn't have time to repair memory, consolidate memory, and release hormones. Well, we all know that exercise depletes energy, fluids, and breaks down muscle. Sleep restores the energy and repairs tissues. Inadequate sleep will diminish your recovery from workouts, practices, and competitions, and it'll also slow your body's ability to recover from injuries. Research suggests that sleep deprivation increases levels of the stress hormone cortisol, which can impact appetite and as well as contribute to unhealthy weight gain. Sleep deprivation has also been shown to decrease production of glycogen and carbohydrates that are stored for energy use during physical activity. In short, less sleep increases the possibility of fatigue, low energy, and poor focus at game time. Finally, sleep is important for growth. And while many of you have stopped growing for the most part, some of you still have some growing to do. If you want to achieve your full height and growth, you need sleep to optimize this. How much sleep do student athletes need? At least 7 hours. And while you're in season and fully engaged in practices and competitions, you could need more for the reasons presented in the previous slide. This slide provides a checklist of 9 tips for falling and staying asleep. First, it helps you to fall asleep if you minimize noise. This may not be possible in your current living situation in a dorm or with noisy roommates in your apartment. If that's the case, you can use white noise to block out sounds. You don't need to buy a machine. You can download a free white noise app on your phone or try earplugs. Sleep researchers have determined that we sleep best in a cool room, about 65 degrees. And while you're keeping the room cool, be sure that your bedding doesn't make you too hot. If you wake in the night, it could be that your room or your bedding is making you too warm. It's also important to establish a sleep routine. This can consist of any number of things. Here are some suggestions on this slide, but the suggestions with asterisks are really important. So first of all, have a set bedtime. Start getting ready about an hour before you want to get to sleep. Shut down screens, and I'm going to discuss that in a later slide. Put on your pajamas, brush your teeth, and wash up. Get ready for the morning. Maybe set out your clothes you're going to wear, check your calendar so you have an idea of appointments or assignments so you can put your mind at rest about what's ahead. Straighten up your room. If you do this daily, it'll take you less than a minute. Read for pleasure, even if it's only for 10 minutes. And by reading for pleasure, I mean from a book, not from a Kindle or from your phone or laptop. Anyway, whatever your routine looks like, keep it consistent so that your body begins to learn that it's time to shut down for the night. Foods and beverages containing caffeine should be avoided because they're stimulants. In addition, consuming any food or beverages right before bed could result in heartburn, indigestion, or acid reflux, and these will cause discomfort that'll make it difficult for you to fall asleep. Probably the most important tip, other than having a routine, is to avoid screen time at least an hour before you go to sleep. That means shut down your computer, turn off the TV, put your phone down. Don't take it to bed. Using TVs, tablets, smartphones, laptops, or other electronic devices before bed delays your body's internal clock, also known as your circadian rhythm. It suppresses the release of the sleep-inducing hormone melatonin, and it makes it more difficult to fall asleep. This is largely due to the short wavelength artificial blue light that's emitted by these devices. The more electronic devices a person uses in the evening, the harder it is to fall asleep or stay asleep. Besides increasing your alertness at a time when you should be getting sleepy, which in turn delays your bedtime, using these devices before going to bed delays the onset of REM sleep, reduces the total amount of REM sleep, and compromises your alertness the next morning. A 10-minute nap can refresh you, but longer naps are not recommended because this can interfere with being sleepy at your bedtime. And if you do nap, make it no later than mid-afternoon. As was mentioned earlier, student athletes need a minimum of 7 hours, and possibly more if you're in season. So not only should you have a set bedtime, but you should also try to get up at about the same time every morning too. So set your alarm for 8 hours to ensure you get adequate sleep each night. It's also important that the room is dark, and be sure to eliminate any LCD, LED, and blue lights in the room, since these can interfere with sleep. Even the lights on electronic devices can disturb sleep. When I stay in hotels, I always cover the lights on the microwave and the in-room alarm clock so that they don't disturb me. So when the room isn't dark, or when we see LED, LCD, and blue lights, it fools the body into thinking it's daytime. This in turn suppresses the production of melatonin, the sleep hormone, and it makes it harder to fall asleep. So here's a method that with practice can help you fall asleep within 120 seconds. It's a method that has been used by the American military service with a success rate of 96% after 6 weeks of practice. So like anything, you're going to need to practice in order to get good at this. The method is essentially broken down into 2 different steps, the first of which is to completely blank your mind as follows. 1. Relax the muscles in your face, including your tongue, jaw, and the muscles around your eyes. 2. Drop your shoulders as low as they'll go. Then relax your upper and lower arm on one side and then the other. 3. Breathe out and relax your chest. 4. Relax your legs, first your thighs and then your calves. Next, part 2, after 10 seconds of trying to clear your mind, use one of the following 3 mental images. Lie in a canoe on a calm lake, nothing but blue sky above you. Or, snuggled in a black velvet hammock in a pitch black room. Or, saying, don't think, don't think, don't think, over and over for 10 seconds. So any of those 3 mind-clearing activities or strategies you should do for 10 seconds. And if you get into the practice of doing this every day or every evening before you go to bed or before you go to sleep, you should be able to get to sleep within 2 minutes. I've also created a resource sheet to accompany this presentation that contains links to additional information related to sleep. And I want to bring your attention to a 10-minute rapid relaxation sleep strategy I share with students in my stress management class. The students who have chronic sleep problems who come to my class have mentioned how effective this strategy is. So if you're struggling to get to sleep, I encourage you to follow the tips I've provided in this presentation and check out the link on the sleep resource sheet. That's it. Next week,